Welcome back to another episode of Let's Finally Grow. I'm your host, Ariana, and we're growing together. Let's do it. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. So, I hope everyone is having a motherfucking fantastic day, a fantastic week. I hope your soul is beaming with passion and excitement and whatever the fuck else we're supposed to feel that makes us feel really good. I really do hope that for all of you. And I hope that you're not battling any complicated emotions, because I have a news flash for you. We overcomplicate things ourselves. I said exactly what you just think I said. We overcomplicate things on our own just fine. We really don't need the help of others. Which is an interesting thought, because that's not how I've felt most of my life, and I'm sure that's not how you felt either. Typically, it feels like, why the fuck is life so complicated? Why the fuck is everyone else so complicated? I'm over here just trying to enjoy my caffeine-free tea, calming my ass down, and everything is so complicated. But everything isn't so complicated unless you allow it to be. I know, it's hard to hear, but it's fucking true. It's hard to hear, but it's also refreshing to hear, because I do love a solution. And you can't really expect a solution from anyone else but yourself. So if life isn't as complicated as we make it out to be, and we're the one complicating things for ourselves, then there's a fucking solution. We can look in the mirror and we can fix it on our own. Boom, 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 boom. We can do the hard work and we can fix her upper. Let's take so many steps back and let's get into what I even mean. What the fuck am I even talking about? How are we complicating things on our own? Life is a lot more simple than we make it out to be. And I think it really comes from, the complications come from a place of ignorance, like literally just never being taught that we complicate things on our own and that we have control over like what feels good in our life and what doesn't feel good. Like we have feelings, we have emotions inside of us. It's all I fucking talk about. It's real. You feel however you feel listening to this. You might feel like she's on to something. She's crazy as fuck, but she is on to something. Or you might be feeling like, this bitch is a dumbass. What is she saying? I'm turning this off now and I'm putting on whatever boring shit I want to listen to instead. And that's how I feel about it. But you feel a certain way. So you know whether this episode, this podcast, me speaking, is making you feel like you want to go one direction or the other direction. The thing that you might not be doing is trusting the feeling inside of you of which direction to go. This is where it gets complicated. This is where we can make it really complicated for ourselves. Let's say you continue to listen to this and you don't change it and you are pissed off the entire time. You disagree with everything that I say and you have this feeling of grr, anger, fuck her. You're complicating it for yourself when you could have easily just tuned the channel a different notches, as if I'm on the radio. You twist and turn and you're listening to the sports radio. You're listening to the traffic and you are right where you want to belong. If you don't like this type of content, that's the type of content you can go for. And then your life won't feel as complicated? Well, I think that life is constantly telling us which direction to go based off of our feelings. Let's say it's a dating scenario. I get a lot of viewers whenever I talk about dating, so I know what you guys want to hear based off of that. Let's get into dating. When I think back to a specific relationship that I had, in this relationship, I stayed in this relationship for a good amount of time, like almost a year. And when you're in a relationship, you're constantly choosing over and over and over again to remain in that relationship. If you want the idea of the relationship more than the way you feel in this relationship, you're probably going to stay in it a lot longer than you should. And when you feel like something is off, like deeply off, like something does not make you feel right, if you want the idea of this relationship, then, and you stay in it longer, you're ignoring what feels good and what doesn't feel good for you. I, in this relationship, probably knew at the 2-month mark that things didn't sit well with me, but I told myself to ignore those red flags, not trust them, and that I was wrong. So I stayed in this relationship for a year. By the time that I finally got out of this relationship, the things that were wrong had only, at the 2-month mark, had only enhanced, spiraled, made a whole theatrical performance at this point. And I felt like my life was so complicated. I felt like I didn't know which direction to go. I felt like life was so hard. And I totally felt sorry for myself. And I didn't even see like a way to get out of it, honestly. I felt very, very, very stuck in it. And I felt like that, like when I think back to that time of my life, it is a very complicated time of my life, because then you're fighting to make something work that just doesn't work. And then you feel like if this doesn't work, then you'll never have anything else. And like you have, like, it's just so crazy what it evolves and twists and turns into. But if I would have recognized the red flags at the 2-month mark, and I say red flags, they might not be everyone's red flags. They were red flags for me. I think there would be a lot of people's red flags, but they were red flags for me, trying to tell me inside what didn't feel good, what didn't align with me, what didn't sit right. And I wanted to change them, red flags, into green instead. And I wanted to think that with enough time, they would just change themselves and things would get better. But in the reality of it, things were only getting worse, because problems don't go away. They enhance to fucking massacres. So what I'm trying to say from this whole situation is I felt the complications. I felt the feeling of being truly uneasy, not feeling good, life getting harder. And I chose that the route of me wanting to put up a fight to work for something that was not making my life easier. It was making my life more complicated. That was me. That was me choosing the complications. The complications weren't actually stuck to me. Like, I had a choice every single day that I chose to be in this relationship to fight for it, give it another chance. Love is meant to be hard. Meanwhile, it just does not have to be that way. And it doesn't mean that relationships are always easy, but they don't need to be complicate it 24/7. And like when complications do arise, like hopefully you're in a relationship with someone that likes conflict resolution and you're both trying to resolve it versus fighting fire with fire. Your body is trying to tell you all of the time what works for you and what doesn't work for you. That work environment that you feel stuck in and that you hate your coworkers and your boss and you can't stop bitching about because it takes over your entire life. How long has it been that way? When did that start? It's been going on. It's been going on for so long that you don't even know which way is left or right anymore. And you think that this is just happening to you. But your body and your mind tried warning you that it didn't feel good a long time ago and you ignored it. And I'm not blaming you for ignoring it because I think that the narrative around most things in life is that we're supposed to just go and ignore and just go with it. And things are complicated sometimes and we just have to deal with it and we have no choice. But that's not true. It is not true. Think of something really difficult in your life and recognize that it feels so hard to even go in that direction. Like it feels so hard. And then think of something that's like, that always works out for you in your life. Something that like is making it easy for you to go in that direction. For me, off the top of my head, like I have friendships that make me feel that way. I have friendships that it's a no-brainer that I'm friends with these people because they enhance my life and it just feels good. It makes sense. Like if there's space that's needed, there's space that's needed. Like we're not trying to fight to save our friendships. We don't feel shitty about one another. Like at least I don't feel shitty about them. Hopefully they feel not shitty about me. And that is something in my life that I know is meant to be in my life and is meant to continue in my life because I have had friendships that have felt like horror and have turned into traumatic experiences, but I was consciously choosing to complicate my life with choosing these friendships and making my life more hard. I think that the universe is constantly trying to point us in the direction that is right for us, that is meant to be good, to make the best outcomes in life, to do whatever the fuck we want in life. And even when there are hard times that arise, like at least you are going in this direction of your life that feels good because life doesn't have to be as complicated as we make it out to be. We are making life more complicated by ignoring the way that we feel. If you just start talking to someone, dating someone, and you get a pit in your stomach, a sick to your stomach feeling, and you choose to ignore it because this person is still pursuing you, I guarantee you that same reason that you don't feel good in the beginning is going to enhance and be the same reason later down the road, because that has happened to me with everything that I've ignored in my life. Like when I look back, I think like, wow, I knew this before. I knew this. I had a feeling. I ignored it. Maybe I didn't know exactly what it was. Maybe I didn't know what this would turn into, which it now has turned into it. But I can look back and I can recognize how the fuck I got here if I'm being so honest with myself. And I think the scariest part is trusting yourself enough to recognize that. And that's something I'm working on actively right now. For honestly, like the first time in my life that I've been aware of this, I'm conscious of it, and I feel that I have control over it. I am actively trying to choose the route in life that does feel better. And with that does come like a lot of hard choices in the moment that I need to make to continue on that route, things to let go of, things to try a little bit harder for, things to, just trust my intuition. Like, I don't know, maybe I could feel bad about something and maybe I'm just having a bad day. Maybe it's me. I love to blame myself. I love, love, love to self-blame because I always think that if it's me, I can fix it, which is kind of what we're talking about here. It's true. But when I get a bad feeling from a way someone else has made me feel or a situation has made me feel, then I can't blame myself. I have to recognize that that did make me feel a certain way, and that like the way I trust myself enough to recognize that, to let it go and not need it to enhance to something that no one wants to see. Honestly, I've had to learn the motherfucking hard way to get here. I have had one too many situations that I just wanted to see where it would go and completely ignored myself so much to the point where my nervous system has been crumbling. I have been bedridden. I am sick to my stomach. I am making myself ill because I'm choosing not to trust my intuition and the direction that life is trying to point me towards. And it's so crazy to think that you just like snap your fingers and that just happens and you don't even know how you got there, but you do. It all started with something that you ignored and you continue to ignore. And I really think that begins with trusting yourself, trusting that if someone makes you feel off about something, your intuition's spot fucking on. You know that shit. You know that shit. You're good. You're good on it. You're going to make a hard choice. You're going to remove yourself from it. And your life is going to be rainbows and butterflies from here on out. Now, why aren't these things talked about more? I have no idea. Like, why am I having to talk to myself about it? Because that's a choice. But I want this to be a conversation that, like, I want to be able to talk to someone and say, hey, you know, what's been feeling good for you lately? What's an experience that you had that didn't feel right? And like, did you act on it? And did you get yourself out of a situation that could have been bad? Did you stay in it? Did the situation get bad? Like, let's view it this way. Let's analyze it this way and spill the motherfucking tequila. Bring the tequila back and spill it. If you know, you know. Instead of the conversation being, I was with this fucking toxic loser who ruined my life and took every ounce of happiness away from me, and now my life is ruined. Although that can be, there can be truth in that statement, you let it happen. You let it fucking happen. You ignored your intuition. You ignored the way that you feel. And you stayed a lot longer in a situation. That wasn't easy to leave. A million things can be true at once. But let's get back to like thinking if we can trace back to that first thought you had where you knew something was up. That's how we can learn how to trust ourselves more. And if we talk about it more, then it normalizes and it becomes second nature. We talk more about the situation that is toxic and horrible, and this person did this to you and that. And that is what we talk about more, and we normalize versus how the fuck did you get yourself in this situation? Your intuition was screaming at you and you didn't listen. So I hope that if you are feeling like your life is complicated in any way, that this episode can at least help you start to think a little differently and start to think about where you can make small changes that you have control over to make your life go in an easier direction. Or if you're ready, make the big fucking changes to make your life go in a different direction that are really, really scary changes, but also really, really rewarding changes. Let's uncomplicate our life one change at a time and make life more simple. Make everything more simple, okay? You got to start somewhere. Trusting yourself is a great place to start. Recognizing it, being real with yourself and recognizing that you know something is off is a great place to start. And then changing it's the hard part. And then sitting with your changes is a hard part. I'm wondering, did I make the right choice? Did I not? And then eventually, you know you made the right choice. Or if you didn't make any choice, you know that you're sitting in a complicated misery and you didn't make the right choice. But don't shoot the messenger who's just here trying to help you grow. Let's fucking grow. All right. My clock is ticking. My time here is up. I'm a tired girl. I gotta go do something with my life. I will talk to you same place, same time, same place next week. Mwah, mwah, mwah.